My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Lesson 11. This is the first idea we have had that is related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. It seems as if the world determines what you perceive. Today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. The key to forgiveness lies in it. The practice periods for today's idea are to be undertaken somewhat differently from the previous ones. Begin with your eyes closed and repeat the idea slowly to yourself. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Then open your eyes and look about, near and far, up and down, anywhere. During the minute or so to be spent in using the idea, merely repeat it to yourself, being sure to do so without haste and with no sense of urgency or effort. To do these exercises for maximum benefit, the eyes should move from one thing to another fairly rapidly, since they should not linger on anything in particular. The words, however, should be used in an unhurried, even leisurely fashion. The introduction to this idea, in particular, should be practiced as casually as possible. It contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation, and freedom from worry that we're trying to achieve. On concluding the exercises, close your eyes and repeat the idea once more, slowly to yourself. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Three practice periods today will probably be sufficient. However, if there is little or no uneasiness and an inclination to do more, as many as 5 may be undertaken. More than this is not recommended. It's very nice to be with the Holy Spirit. The capital F friend. To share all the meaningless thoughts with Him. And just rest in Him. Is there anything anyone needs to put on the altar? That's good. You don't have to have something.
I'd like to put something on the altar. I was feeling fearful about meeting with organizations today, whether it's banks and medical flats, and it just came to me that I could see it as a collaboration. I kind of really wanted to see that the world is not creating me, and that I have complete choice. You have what I experience. I'm just invested in being a bad boy, being a tough boy or something. Yeah, it feels like a shame. Just going to give it all up. Just going to give it all up and let go.
That's beautiful. Great. Collaboration. I love that, to see that you step into every situation as a collaboration, as a joining.
Yeah. And even if we go to Denya and don't get to see anybody and stand and wait or whatever, it's all okay. It'll unfold.
Yeah, it's the trust.
Trust, yeah. I mean, there's a cynical part still lurking, but it feels time.
And you need all those practicalities to wash away the cynical,
Yeah,
and the pride and the shame,
yeah,
the bad boy self-concept,
yeah.
or tough boy.
Something, yeah. Yeah, it feels that way. You said that yesterday. Okay. It's okay to be a do-gooder, which is the accusation that can come up. I don't have to be a do-gooder, but I'm aware that I'd be good to swap this side of the line for that side of the line.
Yeah,
So
be a feel-gooder.
feel good. Yeah. Yeah, and then I don't have to do this for anybody else.
No.
No, that came up. That feels the hardest thing at this moment. Those ego thoughts, how come it took you so long? Or things like this,
It didn't take you long at all. I met you like 3 years ago or something, for the first time. Yeah, no problem.
I feel a very big contrast today between almost extreme joy and extreme victimhood. I woke up 4 at night and I have not been able to sleep since. And I was just meditating for 3 hours and then writing an expression to a friend that I have held a grievance towards. And yeah, sometimes I almost feel like the body just is starting to fall asleep, and other times it feels very amazing to have meditated so much or to be so present. And there is this feeling that finally I have actually become accepted in a group of people. I feel very accepted and welcome and safe, and that I have not done 1,000 things wrong. And then there is this fear, since I have now slept so little, then you will not like me, how I look today. So, because usually it brings up some, some facial expressions like I believe that I can look very uncharming, unlovable, yeah. So there is this fear of the future, and a tiny fear that the body will not get its need met.
You look quite lovable.
Okay.
The only mistake I can think of is you left your laundry out in the rain after a very beautiful sunny and windy and nice day. It's dry and nice.
don't know how much is needed to express, but there is also this fear in the mind that when Vanessa comes, then since I noticed yesterday, my belief is that the reason that my body is doing this to me, waking me up, is because I didn't rest enough yesterday. I was trying to actually, I was thinking about that line in the Course saying, there is a dense layer of misperception around you, keeping miracle impulse, keeping it hard, making it hard for miracle impulses to enter. And then I was thinking maybe my so-called tiredness is that layer of perception that I need to forgive. So I was maybe being a little too much in the head about the Course. Sometimes I have really a hard time to understand what should I do with it. So I was just trying that out. And so when I wake up and I conclude, okay, I tried to be alive, and now this happens, and now I will have a bad day. And what if Vanessa comes and I kind of make that stretch to be more alive, to be more giving, as I tried yesterday, and then it actually ends up backfiring on me, so my nervous system just collides. And
maybe you don't know. Maybe there was no mistake. But I think there is an invitation to join even more, if you don't know what to do. Then just join more.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to put something on the altar as well. Similar enough to what Jonas was saying. It's slightly different, but it's related to sleep. And the feeling that because of what I've done now, I'm going to suffer the consequences for the rest of the day. But in my example, I woke up at 20 to 4, and I felt wide awake, and I felt, okay, I felt this is time to get up or just sit up. I did actually for a while. I done something on the laptop. But then just the thought of going back to sleep and getting more sleep kind of crept in. And so I tried to do that. So for the next 4 hours, I was just trying to get sleep and trying to force sleep.
That you can't.
No. But I persist. This has been happening for a long time, So, yeah, I feel very unrested at the moment and a bit angry. That because I haven't really slept much over the last 10 days. And when I woke up at 20 to 4, not tired, I was angry at that. It's like, for God's sake.
That's how you know. A small self. If you're not tired, you wake up, it's because you're rested and the spirit wants you.
So I decided I wasn't rested, but I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think the spirit will help you to shift your beliefs. Because the beliefs are so set around what you need, and it's usually what you're used to, And Jonas is the same, he's used to resting a lot more during the day, and his nights are better, and then, and all those rules. I used to get tired at 10, go to sleep, and fall asleep really quickly. Last night, someone wanted to talk really late, counseling call, and I was awake. I was fine, And then going to bed really late, and then woke up really early, feeling really happy. just to flow with it, and to see if there is panic or what is that contraction or anger. It's like a belief in some kind of future consequence rather than sticking to happiness now, happiness in the present moment. I always used to say it's bonus meditation time when you wake up at odd times.
Yeah, or do the lesson or something.
Yeah.
I was quite frustrated. I couldn't even put my mind into the lesson. I did look at it, but just the willingness wasn't there.
Well, you can always look at your mind. Maybe the willingness is not there to read, but you can look at your mind and kind of, watch what's going on. Invite spirit into it.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. It's just a fear of going deeper when you are in a pattern or even in the anger or thinking something should be different. Yeah, it's so helpful to undo patterns of belief, habits, structures. Freedom lies in that.
Yeah, in that section of the manual for teachers, we just read, how should a teacher of God spend his day? He says routines as such are dangerous. And what is sleep, or the idea that we need a certain number of hours, but a routine, a habit.
Yeah, they become a god in their own right.
Yeah. I used to be so fascinated by looking at those things, like if time is simultaneous, even if you don't experience that, but if that's the truth, which it is, there is just one moment. You experience the timeline though, then what is going on, right? When you feel tired, what's going on there in the mind? What are the habitual thoughts and beliefs that make you think you need sleep? And what is going on? I think for me, for a period of time, I really looked at it. It was fascinating. If we believe what Jesus says, the rest comes from waking up. And how can I wake up? And that's why in that section too, how shall a teacher of God spend his day? Like he clearly states, spend time with God in the evening and in the morning, right after you wake up and right before you go to sleep. Spend time with God. And I think for most people, until they start to have that practice, really, there's some darkness going on even before going to sleep. It's fear or tiredness or heaviness or habitual beliefs that need to be seen. It's the thoughts that make you tired. So I think it's very good advice to spend some time with God. A little bit in the evening, a bit when you wake up in the morning. Don't look at the clock. Don't figure out what time it is. Spend time with God first. That will speed up awakening for sure.
When you say this, it's you have something of around efficiency, and I had like 2 dreams last night, all around that. And this morning I wrote both of them down, and I suddenly had this I remember as a child I was quite slow, and I could sit and go inward. In the morning I was really like, and I had to get to the bus to school, and suddenly I realized that I always believed it was wrong. There was something wrong with me. And it feels like this kind of habitual way I have of trying to figure out what is expected, what I think others expect of me. It's rooted somewhere in that, because I never understood it, except that I could feel it was wrong. There was something else expected of me. I have a feeling that this kind of efficiency that have been with me my whole life, that, yeah, it's around this. I really feel it's wrong if I don't get things done in an efficient way and quick way. And even this thing I have anxiety of around the Spanish authorities, and the thing that you mentioned, Peter, and I'm quite happy you mentioned what you said, because it's, I can see how I was trying to fill out the form yesterday, and I got totally stuck in some of it, because I wanted to be wrong. I wanted to be right. I don't want the thought that I should have filled it out wrong and go to there and suddenly maybe have to come there again was like, oh, I couldn't have that on me. I couldn't have that guilt around that on me. It was, yeah, I can feel that that's where I go into this lockdown paralyzed. Like, I can't do anything. If I want to be 100% sure that it's correct, I can't do anything.
You need new ways of thinking when you see those expectations.
Yeah.
Just to invite the thought, oh no, I forgot. Peace of mind is the only expectation in this situation. To retrain the thinking. Yeah, that's why Jesus emphasizes the lessons like, I am not a victim of the world I see. Yeah, it's beautiful. When you were a child, you were peaceful and you were sitting, just not feeling pressure, and that's the symbol of there is that part of you. And there's another part that has, played out another dream, of maybe high expectations to do stuff. And, yeah. To keep being willing to see and release those places where you just contract into thinking you're a victim and you have to live up to something or do something. Probably becomes easier now as you don't have much, you don't have a job anymore, you don't have, so the pattern is really up to be seen, although the ego wants to make other authorities, expectations.
Just having, to set up the room, it can just stress my whole morning sometimes.
It gives you a sleepless night.
What?
It gives you a sleepless night, almost.
Yeah, like this, or even when, I still have, an alarm to be sure that I get up. and I can see that the first thought is actually, oh, how long time do I have until, instead of just...
Yeah, so it needs to be maybe it will be a more gentle period coming with the two of you having really no schedule, just to seek spirit and see those frantic thoughts, and they will go away.